Sup guys, Mr.Kooraft is back after 9 long months. So, let's get started. As I mentioned in my last video about 9 months ago, I was completely broke. After the Predator video, I had to do everything I could just to survive. I focused on trying to save my restaurant, even making and selling keychains and accessories right there in front of customers. Of course, things didn't go as planned, and I'm still struggling with debt and financial hardship. But one day, I received a mail from Google saying I finally qualified for YouTube monetization. That gave me the motivation to give this channel another shot. However, I hit another wall. I had no resin left to print any figures. With little hope, I checked my Patreon, and oh my god, I realized there were still people supporting me even during my long absence. Thanks to them, I was able to order the cheapest resin available in the US and make this comeback. I want to thank you all again from the bottom of my heart. So, for today's comeback video, I decided to make a character that perfectly fits the occasion. He once said, "I'll be back." Just like him, I didn't give up and I'm finally back with you all. Now let's get started on today's project, the Terminator. Before sanding, I'm gonna make these separate parts to look like a single piece. I used some resin paste and putty I made earlier. Wait, let me share Mr.Kooraft tip here. Most of you probably know this, but when you print a model in the parts, because of the base too big, you usually fill the gaps with the putty and sand it down. Here's the one more thing. If you use a rotary tool to lightly carve around the putty to match the model's texture and shape, the seams won't show at all after priming. You don't gonna be super precise, just making it look similar is enough, so I highly recommend this method. And there's something I wanna share about an issue I ran into during the build. I used to use a siraya resin, but this time I tried out the cheaper Sunlu resin for the first time. No matter how much I tweaked the settings, nothing was printing right. At first, I thought it was the problem with the resin itself, but after checking the comments in the studio, I realized I wasn't the only one having this issue. It seems like their pre-supported work just wasn't very good. If you are planning to buy this model, I highly recommend not using the pre-supported files. I had to be extra careful with sanding this model, especially because of this awesome bike. This model, known as the Fat Boy from the Harley Davidson, is all about the cool chrome, so detailed sanding is must for perfect chrome finish. Now that I'm finally done with this endless sanding, so let's paint. Chrome painting is one of those tasks that's a bit overwhelming because it's expensive and there are so many things you're gonna keep in mind. First, the surface has to be perfectly sanded. Then you're gonna even it out with a primer or backer and apply a top coat over it to get enough surface gloss. Only then are you finally ready. But of course, that's not the end. Whenever brushing chrome paint, it's best to do it in one go with a little overlap as possible. No matter how much you dry it, if you touch the painted surface, it will rub off on your hands or the shine will fade. And if you spray a top coat to protect it, you lose a lot of that gloss too. Especially for this model, I'm gonna be adding LED lights, which means I will have to handle the painted model for quite a while. So I had no choice but to give up on that perfect chrome shine. But still, the texture difference between a chrome painted surface and one using metallic paint is huge, so you can definitely look forward to it. Wait, let me share Mr.Kooraft tip here. Most washes, except for a few specific ones, have a bit of satin finish. I often use that create the leather look. Actually, I found this out by accident when I made my first figure. I didn't know how to use washes at all back then. So I just kept spreading it around while it was getting messy. And that's how I figured it out. The method is super simple. If you use a brush or a sponge like I do and spread the wash evenly as if you are buffing it, you can get real leather-like shine. It might not show perfectly on screen, but this gloss is way different from varnish and looks much more natural. Once we are done with the shine, let's use some matte gray paint or wash to express the worn out, cracked leather look. That way it will look like old leather peeling off, losing its shine in some spots and getting dusty. When I decided on this model, my biggest concern was the camo pattern on John Connor's jacket. Of course, I could have hand painted it, but that would have taken at least 10 hours. I wanted to find a more efficient way. And then a cool idea popped into my head. It was the stamping technique. I wasn't sure it worked since it was my first time trying it, but I figured it would look more natural than hand painting. Since the surface isn't flat, I thought using a sponge would allow the paint to hit the textured areas more effectively. So what do you think? Looks pretty natural, right? Honestly, I'm surprised it came out even better than I expected. Now I'm gonna paint John Connor's face and hands. I will explain the skin painting process in detail later when I install the Terminator's LEDs. On a side note, I've watched Terminator 2 more than dozens of times. The reason is that I can relate to John Connor's life in many ways. Of course, I'm not as handsome as he is. Anyway, I grew up in the orphanage without parents. And because of that, I was a bad kid who wandered a lot and made many mistakes in my teens. I could try to make it sound cool and say I was just fighting the war to survive, but a mistake is a mistake. It always made me sad to think that John Connor, Even as a child, he had to live an extraordinary life, going through military training to survive rather than having happy memories with his parents. He had to grow up way too fast. I can really relate to how hard it must be for the young boy, living with the fear of the future that hadn't even come yet and the weight of responsibility. Also, I've thought thousands of times that I wish I had a dad like that, even if he was Terminator. Officially, he's gone now, but personally, I hope I can see him again in the movies. As always, you can download the files I modified for the LED installation on my Patreon. And I will also include the info for the LED products I used. I'm planning to install LEDs in 3 spots total, but since I'm gonna do the painting, I'm gonna start with the Terminator's eyes first. I used the UV resin to secure the LED in place, and I'm gonna do some masking first before I start painting. Now I'm gonna paint the Terminator's skin. If you are planning to keep making figures like me, I highly recommend having some skin washes ready. Since today's video is already getting pretty long, I will make a separate video later on how to make these washes. First off, of course, we start with the base skin tone. Then I'm gonna use the skin washes to adjust tones. There's no right answer for this, but in my experience, I always follow this order: yellow, blue, red, and finally the base skin tone wash. The reason is that yellow adjusts the overall skin tone, blue represents the larger veins, and red gives the skin some life. To finish it up, if any parts look a bit off, or if I want to add highlights, I just make the wash using the same base skin paint and lightly cover those areas. That's how I finish the skin painting. Personally, I mainly use Tamiya paints when painting clear parts. The gloss is just right and the flow is good, so they are easy to handle. What kind of clear paints do you guys usually use? If you have any product to recommend, please let me know in the comments. You can't forget sunglasses when talking about another icon of the Terminator. It was cool that model was designed to have the sunglasses on and off, but they were so fragile that I ended up breaking 5 of them. Now, of course, you can download the reinforced model I made on my Patreon. Just a heads up, if you wanna put sunglasses on the damaged version like I did, you're gonna print them a bit bigger. I found out later that the original sunglasses were only meant for the normal face, so I modified them to be bigger and slightly thicker before printing. Phew, all the LED installations are finally done. I'm starting to see the light at the end of the tunnel. But you guys didn't forget this, right? Alright then, drop the beat, let's get it! Do 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 dun 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 dun. Alright guys, the Terminator is finally complete. The scale of the motor is exactly what you see right here, and you can find more details along with my custom modified files available for download on my Patreon. Also, I want to give a huge thank you to my new Patreon supporter. To be honest, it turned out way better than I thought, and I'm absolutely thrilled with the result. What you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Lastly, since I'm back in the studio after 9 months and just getting used to the camera again, the focus was a bit messy and I completely missed checking some parts, plus made quite a few mistakes. I'm gonna fix all these issues and come back with a much better video next time. That's it for today. I'm Mr. Kooraft and I'll be back.